Hi, I'm Lucas from TelcoBridges support team. In this unit, you will see the key characteristics of the Tmedia Voice over IP gateway, the Tsig signaling gateway, and the T-Trans transcoding gateway. Let's start by looking at the key characteristics of the Tmedia. TelcoBridges Voice over IP gateways offers the best performance on the market. The Tmedia also offers the best HA option, with its application fault-tolerant software and its N+1 and N+1 equipment protection solution. It delivers a high-availability platform that provides no loss of service. The Tmedia is the most integrated signaling platform. Its SS7 and ISDN-PRI protocols support multiple variants and are deployed all around the world in major carriers. Its CAS R1 and R2 protocols are configurable and can match any variants. Its SIP, SIP-I, and SIP-T protocols are widely deployed and proven interworking with hundreds of equipments. It supports SIG-TRAN for either relaying or terminating SS7 over IP, and it supports H.248 megacode. It easily interconnects networks with its any-to-any protocol adaptation and mediation. It serves as media transcoder, media gateway, and signaling gateway, or all of that at the same time. It's far the most versatile platform. And with its scriptable internal class 4 routing engine and its external routing capabilities such as SIP 3XX redirect and Radius AAA, it delivers the most flexible routing options. The Tmedia also delivers voice over IP transcoding predictable performance with its hardware-accelerated media processing. The Tmedia provides many codecs, which are classified in 3 different categories: universal licensed codecs, wireless unlicensed codecs, and other codecs, which are also licensed by our platform. The Tmedia also provides a standard lawful interface to the police to allow them to control call interception without the intervention of the carrier. The intercepted calls are forwarded live to the police. This is called the content of communication. And the platform collects CDRs for all those intercepted calls and makes the IRI, intercepted related information, available to the lawful agency. With the Tmedia, there's no need for an external third-party lawful intercept solution. The Tmedia can also be used as a TDM monitoring probe. It has a ready-to-use solution to capture ISDN-PRI signaling and media and generate SIP calls with RTP. It can tap on E1, T1, DS3, OC3 and STM-1. Eyes up, CAS R1 and R2 will be supported in a future release. It also supports integrated SBC functionalities, such as topology hiding, access control and fraud prevention, interoperability mediation, protection for denial of service and distributed denial of service, and even more. We will cover all the functionalities in the TSBC section. The Tmedia operation, administration, maintenance, and provisioning is performed through a web-based GUI and through its SNMP management information base for collection of alarms, states, and statistics. It also provides a northbound configuration interface through a RESTful JSON API. And finally, it provides the industry's best network diagnostic tools with its test call, call trace, signaling capture, and call recording. Now let's compare the Tmedia models inside the Tmedia product family. The TMG800 is our low entry model, which supports 512 channels. It's physically equipped with 16 E1T1 port, which can be software licensed from 1 to 16 ports. It does not support DS3, neither STM-1 and OC3 interface. It supports up to 6 voice over IP interface and 512 transcoding universal codecs. Our mid-size capacity model is the TMG3200. It supports 2048 channels and can be offered for 3 different kinds of interface for E1T1, DS3, STM1, and OC3. It can be provisioned with 64 E1T1 and software license with 16, 32, 48, or 64 E1T1. For the DS3, it is equipped with 3 DS3 ports that can be licensed from 1 to 3 ports. It supports 1 STM1 OC3 port and a +1, which is for the automatic protection switching. It supports up to 4 voice over IP interfaces and 2048 transcoding universal codecs. Finally, our high-end capacity model is the TMG7800, and it supports up to 32,768 channels with a maximum of 1,024 E1s or 48 DS3 or up to 16 STM1 OC3. It supports 2 voice over IP interface per unit and up to 32,768 transcoding universal codecs. In the Tmedia product family, we saw that there was a sub-model called the Tsig. It comes in 2 formats, the TSG800 and the TSG3200. Basically, this product is exactly the same as the Tmedia. The only difference is that it is not provisioned with transcoding. And for the T-Trans model, which is offered as the TMG-IP800, TMG-IP3200, and TMG-IP7800, it's also the same thing. It's the same product as the Tmedia, but it is not provisioned with the TDM interfaces. Alright, before going any further, sit back in your chair and enjoy the next 30 seconds. Your eyelids are feeling heavier and heavier. The Tmedia is the best product. I'm just kidding. I will not hypnotize you. Anyway, I don't need to do that to show you our product and how good they are. Let's keep going. And let's see what the product looks like physically. So we'll start with the front view of the 800 and the 3200. In the front of the unit, there is a USB Type-B serial connector and a Cat5 RG45 serial connector. So both are working in a mutually exclusive way, so you should connect either one. There's a green and yellow LED status, a shutdown and reset button, and a factory reset. The factory reset is a reseated button. You need a pin to press on it, and when it does, it brings back the unit in the exact same state as when it's been shipped. Now let's look at the rear view of the 800. On the left side you see the 16 T1E1 physical ports. Then just beside you have 6 GigaNet Ethernet ports, which supports up to 16 IP addresses, and dual AC power supplies. DC power supplies option is also available. Now let's look at the 3200 rear view. On the left side, there is the TDM interface options that we're going to see in the next few slides after this one. Then in the middle, there's 5 gigabit Ethernet ports. The management is also at the back. It supports also 16 IP addresses. On the right side of the unit, you see the AC dual power supplies. Note that DC power supplies option is also available for the 3200. Okay, now let's see all the different TDM options of the 3200. First, the 3200-T, which comes equipped with 4 SCSI connectors, and each SCSI connectors support 16 E1s. It must connect to RG48C patch panels, and each patch panel has 32 E1s. So you need 2 patch panels for 64 E1s with a total of 4 SCSI cables. It can be software licensed with 16, 32, 48, or 64 E1, T1, G1. The second and the third TDM options is the 3200-DS3 or the 3200-STM-1 OC3. The DS3 supports 3 physical ports, which can be licensed from 1 to 3 ports, and the STM-1 supports 1 physical port and its +1 APS, automatic protection switching ports. Both interface supports also 2 extra RG48C connectors that can be used to connect to an external building integrated timing supply bits clock source, or to connect extra E1T1 for signaling. Now let's look at the highest capacity system in our Tmedia product family, the TMG7800. It comes in a 1U form factor, and it supports up to 32,768 channels. You can mix and match different interfaces with this system, up to 16 units. So it's a scalable, stackable system. And it's managed as a single system. Optionally, you can use a TMS switch fabric to perform low latency air pinning on the TDM circuits. It can also be used with an N+1 redundancy protection. Okay, keep up with me. There's just a few slides coming left on that topic of the Tmedia product family. We still have the 1+1 to see. We're going to see also a bit of the installation manuals and a last small topic about the integrated SBC functionality. So keep up with me. We're almost there. TelcoBridges also provide a 1+1 equipment protection. It comes with a 1+1 patch panel on which the PSTN connects, and also the active unit and the +1 unit. Both units are interconnected through a control networks so that they can exchange their states. The E1 and T1 are serviced by the active unit, and the +1 unit is hot standby. By hot standby, we mean that it's power up and actively monitoring the other unit. It also pre-configures the E1 and the T1s without transmitting on the line. When a fault occurs on the active unit, either a software or an hardware fault, the configuration is moved to the +1 unit. So both the IP and the E1T1 configuration would be moved to the +1. The +1 then starts to service the traffic. During that process, the active calls will be lost, but there will be no impact on new calls and on the capacity in the system. Now let's look at the TMG7800 N+1 equipment protection. This protection solution is available only for the STM-1 physical connection. It works in a very similar way as the 1+1 protection. There is one unit, the standby, or the +1, which protects up to 16 units. If one of the 16 units has a failure, the traffic serviced by the failed unit is transferred to the backup unit. On the front of the patch panel, there is physical link LED status, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports to connect to the control networks, 1 management gigabit Ethernet port, a serial connector, a power reset button, and the LED status of the unit. At the rear of the patch panel, we have the physical STM-1 connections, the connector to the +1 standby unit, 15 connectors to the network, and 15 connectors to the active units. The patch panel is powered with 2 power supplies. Here we see the AC power supplies. We also offer DC power supplies. Note that in case of failure of the power supplies, the traffic to the active units is not affected. Only the +1, if it served traffic, would be affected. Next, let's take a look at the 1+1 patch panels. You have 3 different kind of patch panels for the 3200 and the 7800. The first one is for E1T1, second one is for DS3, the third one is for STM1, and finally the patch panel for the TMG800. Now a quick word about one of the steps when you install the unit. which is the configuration of the host role. When you receive a unit, the role of the unit is not configured. In this example, we have a 3200 STM-1 installed in a 1+1 topology. The role of both units would have to be configured as a 1+1 redundant role. If there's only one unit, you must configure it as standalone. To get all the details about the installation of the units, please consult the installation manuals. The first time you access a unit by connecting to the management port, you get this screen, which will show you the model of your Tmedia and the serial number of your unit. It will also show you the license applied to your unit. The license can be either primary or secondary. For a primary license, it means your unit can be used either in standalone or 1+1 primary. If your license is of type secondary, this unit can only be used for 1+1 secondary. And for the last topic of this unit, just a word on the integrated SBC functions of the Tmedia product. With an extra investment, you get protection of your TDM2 VoIP sessions with no need for an extra SBC. You can even buy extra voice over IP sessions, up to 2000 extra sessions of RTP relay.